Hello, good morning, happy Sunday. So you can see what we're going to be talking about today. It's trips and vacation and nutrition tips. So yeah, that's just something that's been on my mind. I actually watched a video about it not too long ago, so I thought this would be a great time to talk about it. So before we get started, I like to talk about why I'm qualified to discuss these things. So years ago, I got sick and I learned years after that about the idea of using food as medicine. And it really gave me a lot of empowerment. So I became a health coach so that I could learn more information for myself. And then it became my mission to share this with as many people as I possibly could. So that, the transition that, when you go, I can hand over resources so that the transition when you go from wherever you are with your health to wherever you want to be just can be fast and easy. I mean, why do we want it to take longer than it has to, Yeah, so that's why I do what I do. And along those lines, I know that there are just so many symptoms and diseases that we deal with, and they sideline us and take us away from what's truly passionate to us and what we really want to spend our time doing. And I just think that's not necessary. And that's something that we shouldn't have to deal with. Yes, there are ways with a healthy enough diet and lifestyle to reverse disease and reverse symptoms, but I think that if we didn't have to deal with them in the first place, it would be just so much cooler. So, yeah, that's why I do what I do. So, please, I want this to be as useful to you as possible, and reach out to me if you want me to do anything to make this more useful to you. So, back to the topic for today, trips and vacation nutrition tips, if I can say it this time without getting too tongue-tied. So it's gotten warm outside, and so it's on a lot of people's mind. I mean, summer's right around the corner, and we're going to be taking trips and different vacations and, different things. And we want to stay pretty much with what our nutrition normally is. I mean, we know there's lots of consequences to not doing that, right? That we don't feel our best on vacation, and nobody wants to deal with that when they're on vacation. Nobody wants to deal with digestive problems and all kinds of things. So we want to keep we want to keep on track with however we're eating. We want to remain that way while we're on vacation. So the biggest recommendation I have is to plan. And that's what they were talking about on this video podcast that I watched, just really planning things. I mean, please, the biggest thing is to pack what you can. So a lot of people, make sure that they have things like fruit and nuts. And, as long as you're not going on international trips, I know that can be kind of challenging. But, making sure that you pack as much as you possibly can. And then some people even plan to have either a fridge or they get an efficiency apartment, something like that, so they can actually shop when they get to their destination. So that's something to keep in mind too. They might make sure that their hotel or wherever they're staying, the Airbnb, whatever, is close to a grocery store so that they can stock up on things that they're used to eating. So that's something that a lot of people do too. We've talked about the Happy Cow app and website a lot in the past, so that's something that you can rely on. The biggest thing is, and the worst idea is to just wing it and say, I'm just going to figure it out when I get there kind of thing. Because that is the biggest challenge, is a lot of people then spend most of their vacation and most of their free time trying to track down food, and nobody wants to do that. So planning that out while you're planning everything else and packing and doing all the things to really get you ready to go on a trip or go on vacation, it's really important. You can schedule things down to the day, what you're going to eat on every single meal and every single thing that you're going to have. I personally like to use my notes app on my phone and just make a list of things, that we can have, and different things that we know that are available wherever we're going, so that, we can just, whatever looks good on that list, we just check it off that day, so that's a tip from me. That's something that I've done in the past. So yeah, so if you have any other tips, please feel free to list them down below so that other people can benefit from them as well. So I think that's about all I wanted to cover with this. But yeah, you don't want to spend your time searching for food and trying to find food that works in whatever diet you're following. You want to stick with that and kind of stay on track with whatever you're doing. So you don't want to spend all your time trying to track that down. So yeah, it's just something to think about, and something else that you should plan when you plan a trip or a vacation of any sort. So I'm on all different social channels. Please join our Benefits of Eating Plants Facebook group if you haven't already. I will put the link down below. I definitely encourage you to join that. We list all kinds of information on there. And I will also put my link to my YouTube channel. So after I do these lives on Sundays, I put them on my YouTube channel on Wednesdays. So there's lots of information, years worth of lives and other, health information. So please check that out. Subscribe. It would really help me out. And then I am building another Facebook group. I know I kind of teased about it last week. I will be talking about it next week for sure. So it got a little, there were a couple of little roadblocks and things that I had to deal with. So that's not ready yet, but I will be talking about that next week. So, along the lines, during, everything I've been learning in my journey, I created a self-guided course that allows you to really implement diet change, whether that's changing your diet completely or just adding more plants to your diet, whatever you're ready for. I created a self-guided course because I think a lot of people understand why those things are important, but they're not really sure how to technically do it in their life. So that's why I created a course. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I will send you the link for that. And yeah, as I say every week, if you're watching this live or on replay, then go ahead and list anything that you think I may have missed or any way that this made you feel. Or, like I said before, if you have any tips or tricks that you've learned that you use when you go on a trip, then definitely post that down below. I think that's really cool. And if there's any topic that you want me to cover in a future video, let me know about that as well. So I think that's about it. So until next week, have a beautiful and colorful day. Bye, everybody.